Rob Kendall speaking with Brian Woodard, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
Doing all right, Rob. And yourself?
Doing just great. Well, let's go back to Friday night. Obviously, you ran into a phenomenal player in Nick Patterson, the quarterback for the Mooresville Pioneers. But I want to start with this. I thought the run defense throughout the entire game was phenomenal.
Yeah. No, and the Patterson kid is really good. He covers up some of their mistakes and makes them better than they are in certain places. And isn't that the definition of a great player, right? Whether that's, high school, college, or NFL, really good players elevate the play of others and cover up mistakes. But yeah, I've said it all year. I think the front end of our defense is very good. They play really, all of our defensive guys really play hard. Not to discredit our special teams players, our offensive guys either, but we've had some injuries on the back end of our defense, and we know we're going to give up some passing yards. So we know we got to be really good against the run. I had some tackling issues at times, especially again against the Patterson kid. 230-pound quarterback is a load. That's something we got to get better at, regardless of who the quarterback is. So, a lot of positives to take from the defensive effort. You look at the scoreboard, you see the points, you look at the stats. They might not show up, but I do think there's some guys that are playing really good football.
When you look at your team's effort and you talk about Patterson, is there any real way in 5A football to defend a kid like that? I mean, no matter what you do, he's going to make plays.
No, I mean, there isn't. I think, going back to what I wanted in our game plan and what we needed to happen, it's not so much what you do to him defensively, it's what you're doing offensively. The best way to defend them is for him to be on the sideline. So that means staying on the field, winning the time of possession battle, and scoring points. And none of those three things happen for us on a consistent basis. So that's how you defend a kid like that. That's really good. You keep him on the sideline.
Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, a couple drives stalled in Mooresville territory, some of them deep in Mooresville territory, including the opening drive, which resulted in an interception at the 1-yard line. The final score wasn't all that close, but man, again, it just seems like things we've talked about throughout the first couple games, a play here and a play there, and it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah, the first drive to come away with with no points there, I think really changed the complexion of the game. It shouldn't have, but it did change the complexion of the game. The two non scores in the red zone, were just tough. And that's something we've got to improve on. The bright spot, Troy Larison talked about Troy a little bit last week. Troy rips off a really nice run. Got to see some of that, track speed that was one of the reasons why we were so successful in track was Troy. So we want to continue to get Troy the football and give him those opportunities to break some of those long runs. We did some good things. We're still searching for that consistency. I know we're gonna get there. Hopefully this week we return a starter at our offensive line spot that we've not had all season. So I think that will help kind of shore some things up. And anytime you start getting some guys back that have been injured, you throw that in the mix, and that brings a little pep in your step, a little morale, and that's all fine and good. But hopefully the product on Friday night improves as well.
Let's talk about this coming Friday night. Before we do that, though, let's thank the sponsors who make Plainfield football broadcast possible all year long. CCB Contracting, Geodis, Gunnell Financial, Julia Berber at Remax Centerstone Plainfield, Kyle Burnfield, Mortgage Lender, Flagstar Bank, Team Turley, Fairway Mortgage, Bailey & Wood Financial Group, the African Plum Home, My IT Indy at myitindy.com, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, The Beacon Sign Company, Jeff Brown Photography, and Karen Alexander Photography. All right, Coach, so we head to Perry Meridian this Friday night. What do the Falcons bring to the table?
Perry is a team that, gets a big win over their big rival, which was Southport, a couple weeks ago. So, looking at that film, seeing a team that schematically hasn't changed too terribly much. I think in terms of where they are strongest is their wide receiver cores. I think they have some guys that are really good in that mix. I think they have a really good running back, young guy that also plays defense, Andy Warren. And historically they've liked to take their shots down the field, and that's obviously an area that we're struggling a little bit with just because of our DB depth. So that's something we'll be working on throughout the week. An odd front defense. Had some really, really good young players last year. Have not really had a chance to dig as far into the film yet to match up numbers, names, and with who they were last year. It's something we try to do from year to year to see where guys are at and where if they've shifted around or changed a number, those kind of things. So going on the road again, which always presents some challenges, but certainly a team we're looking forward to playing and looking forward to get to 1-0 on the week.
When you have to go on the road, take us through a little bit. And I know we talked about this week 2 with the trip to Harrison, but that's kind of an anomaly. A road opponent does not take 93 hours to get to their facility. What is a game day like for you guys?
You know what? It really is just a little bit of a tweak to our times, right? We talked about that with Harrison, with leaving earlier, just making some adjustments. And for me, just kind of like remembering, okay, do we have a long walk from the locker room to the stadium? Is it a 30-second walk? And, like in the case of Perry, our locker rooms are right there. So like, that's, one less thing you have to mess with. And then, just the normal stuff. I mean, the logistics of making sure the end zone camera is packed up. Do we have our 8 good, game footballs? Does our quarterback like those footballs? Do we have, all of our AV stuff squared away, our huddle side? I mean, just, all the little odds and ends things that nobody cares about, but, you gotta have them prepped, loaded, and ready to go.
I've often wondered, is it like Home Alone where you make sure you don't leave some kid in the locker room? Do you count the kids? How do you make sure everybody's there?
Well, that's a good question. First, I'm the last guy. I sweep both locker rooms, usually looking for like a stray helmet, because everyone's like, somebody stole my helmet. Okay. Yeah, of course they do. Everybody, yep, stealing game pants. Holy cow. There's a big market for them, let me tell you. So I try to sweep both locker rooms just to make sure there's no, loose gear out there. So that kind of takes care of that. But, we have bus lists and travel lists to help kids know where they're supposed to be and those type of things to kind of try to avoid some of the chaos of loading a bus with 90 or not 90, but 70 teenagers.
In the 16 plus years you've been doing this, ever left a kid at the stadium?
Really, you're going to ask that? And now, seriously, in this year, you're going to ask that? I don't think so. I don't not that I'm aware of. If I did, nobody said anything. So I'm going to go.
So when we talk about heading to Perry Meridian for Friday night, it's a road game. How important is it on the road? Obviously it's important anywhere, but I would think it's exceptionally important, or especially important on the road, to get off to a great start, because obviously you've got usually more of their fans than you do yours, and it kind of sets a momentum tone.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. One of the first things that we talked about, a couple weeks ago when, we were taking our trip to Harrison is, we call it, weathering the storm on the road. You have, traditionally teams, play better at home than they do elsewhere. So knowing that, you want to show up and you want to make sure you get off to a good start. And if you don't, just hang in there and be patient and do your thing. Don't get caught up in the emotions, whatever those might be, of a start. I think in the case of Perry, and our team, it's important that we get off to a good start. So our players remind themselves of what it's like to play with the lead again, have that positive momentum. Let's build on things. Let's capitalize on drives. To me, more so than being on the road, that's the most important thing I'm looking for from our football team from having a great start perspective.
Real quick, before we get to a couple things and wrap up the show, I want to thank again the sponsors that make this show and all of our Plainfield football broadcasts possible. CCB Contracting, Geodis, Gunnell Financial, Julia Berberich of Remax Centerstone Plainfield, Kyle Burnfield, mortgage lender at Flagstar Bank, Team Turley, Fairway Mortgage, Bailey and Wood Financial Group, African Plum Home, My IT Indy at myitindy.com, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, The Beacon Sign Company, Jeff Brown Photography, and Karen Alexander Photography. Also, a reminder, in addition to the live varsity broadcast on Friday, we will have the freshman JV doubleheader on Saturday. And you'll be able to watch those two broadcasts live as well as on demand. So if you know someone who can't make it out to the stadium on Saturday morning, we'll be out there. Is it still 9 and 10:30? Is that right, Coach?
Unless something were to change, 9 and 10:30 is what we're slotted at, and along those lines. Before I forget, this past Saturday we had some weather issues at Mooresville. Our Mooresville freshman game was postponed. Still working on trying to find a time where we can get that one in. Hopefully, should have more information on that on Monday. And then our JV game with Mooresville was canceled. So that was just a little Saturday update there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we'll be out there Saturday, pending weather, et cetera, so you can watch those live on as well as on demand. Real quick before we go, Coach, I saw your boy on Friday. He was up in the press box, had a chance to talk with him. He's becoming a dude, man, and I still remember him being about 2 feet tall, and that was very weird for me.
Yeah, it was great seeing him back. He's been able to come back a couple times. Ball got their first win yesterday, so that was good to see, and it's great having him back on the sidelines. I wish he were back in pads for us. That would be good. But yeah, he's growing up into a young man. He's not my little boy anymore, that's for sure.
And there is no doubt who his dad is. There's no doubt.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm gonna chalk it up as being good, though.
Yeah, it's a good thing. All right, Coach, before we let you go, as always, we want to say thank you to somebody or someone's behind the scenes who make Plainfield football what it is. Who do we have this week?
Absolutely. Well, the 3 very special, very important people are student managers, and Brandon, Emma, and Kendi. They are. I don't know what we would do without them. We had years where we didn't have any student managers, and the coaches were kind of responsible for getting equipment out and putting equipment up, and kind of wrangling the film and figuring all that out during practice. And those 3 are just phenomenal. They get our stuff out, and they're just so helpful with everything. Emma and Kendi have even started doing some work, with our athletic department, 7th period on home football games, where they come out and they actually start setting up for games. Emma, I know, wants to go on and be a manager at the college level, which is a really big deal, especially at the Division I level. So really appreciative of all 3 of those folks, and couldn't do it without them.
All right, Coach, let's get a big win on Friday night. I'm feeling good about this Friday. We'll have the live broadcast. Look forward to hopefully calling the first win of the season. We'll talk to you Monday of next week.
You bet, Rob. Thanks so much, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
See ya. Bye-bye.